It was crazy. Yeah, I was like sitting there. I remember feeling like I was at like a tennis match. I love to go watch tennis. I was like,
All right, Crystal, you are officially back for your second season. So, what are you most looking forward to? And is there anything that you wanted to do different going into this season?
yeah, I felt like last year it only showed like a very kind of narrow part of me. And I was trying to reflect on it. Like, was that edit or was that me? And I was like, likely I was very nervous and I sort of closed up in front of cameras. And I really tried hard this season to like sort of forget that they were there and relax. And because I'm actually a very like relaxed person, but in this environment, it's not that relaxing.
It's anything but
tried hard.
relaxing. Were you, I guess you weren't as nervous going into this season because you kind of knew what to expect then.
Yeah, I was less nervous going in. Yeah, just like it different also because when we filmed my first season, it was the height of pandemic. So everything was at each other's homes. We were never outside. And so that was sort of a different way to, get to know people versus sort of being in public. And I know that sounds like it's a nuanced thing, but actually it affects you differently when you have other people around too.
Sure, definitely. How would you say dynamics shift this season? How do friendships change? How do they, unexpected friendships kind of emerge? What kind of, can you tease about that?
For me, I think because I relax more, I'm able to be myself more, which helps some friendships, doesn't help. And, but I think that's sort of the nature of friendships in general, right? You either mesh well with people or not. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely friendships that are stronger, friendships that shift, but Cherie and Diana are new this year. And always when you bring newbies on, that also sort of shifts because they have their own perspective about people. And, and I really respect both of them. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting take on people. Yeah. And I'm sure everyone else has that sort of response too.
What did they kind of bring to the show this season?
Well, I've known Diana for a few years and have always known she's very strong. In fact, she's quite tough. But yeah, she really is. She like lets it all out this season, but also she's a very sort of heart forward person. I love to say that now. It's like she's really sees you. And if, she likes you, she loves you. If she doesn't like you, she hates you.
I kind of get it. I guess she doesn't get on the best foot with Sutton this season based on the trailer.
Look, I didn't either last year. And Sutton and I are really good friends now. So, but Sutton can take some time to get to know. And also I think Diana too.
Yeah.
So when you have two very, very different, but strong personalities, I think that's sort of natural.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that you and Garcelle, I think, kind of go at it a little bit this season. I feel like everything's fine because we've seen some recent photos of the two of you together. But what was that like for you?
That was really hard for me. That was really challenging for me because that was, I didn't expect that. But, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but also at the same time, look at like Sutton and I never thought we'd be friends. So sometimes you need to go through those harder times to really get to know somebody. And sometimes it comes out better in the end. And sometimes it's like, maybe we're not meant to be friends, but we're on a good path now.
Good. I mean, I don't know if you're alluding to men not being friends with somebody, meaning to be friends with somebody, but I know that you and Erica kind of go at it this season. And, that infamous line in the trailer where she says that it's cool to be siding with the victims. I mean, what was kind of going through your mind in that moment where you kind of completely taken back and be like, oh my God, did that really just happen?
But I'm always taken back when people yell at me. Yeah, last year I was brand new and it all was unveiling itself, what was happening in her life. And I certainly didn't feel like I had any right to sort of ask questions. And I know other girls did, but I had just met her. You know, when she filed for divorce, I had met her 3 weeks prior. So I'm not going to like grill someone, especially when someone tells me to get divorced. I'm going to end up leading with compassion as opposed to judgment. And, but it's a year later and things have settled. And now it's really the aftermath. And I feel more comfortable in our friendship to ask those harder questions because I will always be on the side of victims. And that doesn't mean I'm against others, but in this situation, there's a lot of people that were hurt and are owed a lot, and I will speak up for them.
Yeah. I mean, how did you feel going into this season? I know you said you're a little bit more comfortable. It's been a year later, but she did go, the two of you did have a moment at the reunion when she was like, you know, am I angry enough for you? Do you still feel like she has that compassion for those victims? Or like, you know, she says in the trailer, it's, I only care about myself.
Yeah, look, I mean, I can't speak for her.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I don't know what's in her heart, but it's certainly, those are the questions I ask.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to think of myself as a very compassionate person, and I try to understand. I can't control anyone. I can't tell them what to do. For me, it's like I really try to understand where people are coming from, and I tend to give a lot of grace on all sides. But yeah, with this situation, there's no question for me that it's easy to support victims.
Right. Yeah. Does this season still dive deep into those, you know, legal issues that she has, or are we able to kind of branch out and see, you know, other, like you said, you know, all these dynamics and friendships kind of shifting? Are we taking the focus away from that for a little bit?
I mean, it's still very much a part of it because as things reveal, it's like different articles came out, different, you know, things came out about it while we were filming. But it's not so heavy on it because when we filmed last year, it was like every single day something was new. And this year there's just a lot more to talk about, but we still broach it for sure.
Yeah, I think Erica said in an interview that things get really bad during the Aspen trip. What can you tease about that Aspen trip?
Yeah, I go to Aspen like twice a year for a very long time, and I don't know if I want to go back.
It's gonna be tainted.
I actually don't. I love Aspen. I'm not going back with those people. It was really like crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, I can't. I was like sitting there. I remember feeling like I was at like a tennis match. I love to go watch tennis. So I was like.
And can you is that because of Garcelle and Erica? Is that the drama that goes down?
I'm going to say it's everybody.
It's everybody? Oh, God.
It is everybody. Like one person's this, and then all of a sudden these were screaming. And it's like. I only have 2 ears. I don't have the brain capacity for all this. It's everyone at some point.
It's going to get good. I know in the trailer, it appears that you are opening up about some struggles that you are going through as well, possibly some eating struggles. Is that going to be something hard for you to kind of relive? And what can you kind of tell us about that?
You know, reliving the show, I've only gone through it once, but I'll tell you, it's very, very challenging, and experiencing it in real time is challenging, reliving it. So when I was talking, but it's been part of my life for almost 30 years. So it's not something that is happened to me this year. It's not like that kind of thing. But I just knew that it was important to talk about it because, well, I didn't really broach it. It kind of came to me, but I wasn't going to shy away from it. And because it's part of my life, and that's what the show is, right? We all have kind of amazing, fun lives and very blessed. And then at the same time, we all struggle too. And this is mine. And yeah, I'm sure it's going to be really hard to watch, but I have such a supportive family and my friends who have known me. You know, I'm still best friends from my friends from elementary school, and they knew about this then, you know, and so they're really proud of me for talking about it in a public forum like this, because it's been hard on them. it's hard on my friends.
Right. And, and I'm sure so many other women are dealing with the same thing. I don't know if you've been watching Real Housewives of New Jersey, but we see Jackie on the show talking about her eating struggles. And I think it's so important. And, I spoke to her and she's doing so well. So I'm sure it's going to be a helpful thing for a lot of people too.
Yeah. I messaged her recently just to send her support and we've been kind of messaging back. And I mean, that's the sort of great thing about this show and experience is finding connections in that way and support. And, it's a lot to put out there, but I do hope that it helps others because we are really all just human trying to survive. And I think that's what the show also reminds people of.
Oh, no, it's so true. So true. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. A lot of people are going through the same exact things. And I think it'll be super helpful. I know in the first episode, it centers a lot around Dorit's robbery, the scariest thing ever. But a lot of people, I think, are going to be talking about Sutton's reaction to what happened. Were you surprised that she kind of lacked a little bit of empathy, in regards to the robbery?
So I haven't seen the episode yet.
Okay. All right.
I am going to see it today. Mm-hmm. Obviously it's something we talk about, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So what I know is sort of hearsay and discussion about it. Mm-hmm. And I will say I've gotten some random DMs from like bloggers who are like, oh my God, I can't believe the reaction. I'm like, I haven't seen it. Like, I don't know. But from what we it actually sounds sort of worse than what we discussed. Mm-hmm. But that's the nature of people, right? It's like their experience of what they hear. And so we react to that. But I'm very curious. Like right when I hang up, I'm going to go
you should
watch it, but I haven't seen it yet. So am I surprised? Yeah. I mean, like, I really can't imagine what it's going to look like, but if anyone, friend or not, experiences something so horrific and scary and life altering like that, I don't think there's any other reaction but to be compassionate and empathetic and supportive. So, we'll see.
Yeah. And it seems like Kathy is in a little bit of some drama this season. Last season she kind of got away a little scot-free, but was it difficult for her to kind of go through this? And can you say if Kyle and Kathy are in a good place right now?
Yeah, look, it's so hard to go through any kind of struggle, especially on the show. It's so public. But look, I'm all about family, and they chose to put their family life in the public eye. And God knows that my brother and I fight harder than anyone else. And if it was on camera, it would be scrutinized to death. But it's like, he's on his way over now. Like we scream, we love, we scream. That's family, but I think that because they're under this microscope, it seems a lot worse, I guess. But I mean, I know they're talking, so I don't think that's, I don't know. I mean, I think that family is, for them, always comes first too. But there's a lot that plays out. Again, a lot of it I haven't seen.
Right. Yeah, I know
about. So I'll be watching it like 2 days before you guys see it.
Exactly. We'll have to catch up mid-season and then we can dish out all the dirt.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly Magazine.